Jesus did not say where you want your treasure to eventually be, there your heart will be also. He said where your treasure is, where you put it now is where your heart is going to be. So a lot of the people who have good intentions with that just keep accumulating and keep accumulating. And there's no end to accumulation. There is no end. And so I think what has to be done is you have to discipline yourself to say, I am going to give generously now. I am not going to wait to give generously. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean I will give away 90% of my income when I'm early on starting a business. For a lot of people, that just probably wouldn't work with the starting the business thing. But I still will be very generous. And depending on how much God has entrusted to me, maybe I'll give away 20%, maybe 40%, 50%, whatever figure it is. And it all depends on the resources God has entrusted to you and how it works. And there's no biblical formula and there's no magical percentage. I would never, ever, under any circumstances, go less than 10% because I just can't imagine a New Testament believer changed by the grace of Jesus who is unwilling to do the minimum that was required of the poorest Israelite. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. But the point is, yeah, there's freedom. But then I would say, not err on the side of, because it's not erring at all, generous giving. But it's just like stretch yourself with the giving and ask God to bless it. And you may find that, of course, you'll never know in this life because you can't do it both ways. But I think in many cases, people just pour their lives into the building of this business. They lose the business. The business goes, just falls apart. The economy changes. They take the money that they made and that they invested in things out there, and the investments went sour. Or they became very, very wealthy, and then they lost their families because their priorities weren't right, because their hearts weren't right. So if you want your heart to be in the right place, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Put your treasure now into God's kingdom, so your heart will be in God's kingdom. Give your treasure to Jesus now, so your heart will be with Jesus. It doesn't mean give it all away. There are times where Jesus did say, give it all away. Okay. But he doesn't do that for all of us. But whatever it is, do enough of it now that your heart is going there. Then maybe not only might God bless you and your business, but your heart might be in such a place that when more money comes in, then you're giving more and more. But if you're always waiting for that day to come when you're going to become a giver, that day, in all likelihood, will never come. And you will regret one day having really wasted your life and your resources that were really God's all along, because he owns it all, when you could have invested in eternity.